separate but equal policy here. I want to make sure that you're getting the same treatment for all individuals throughout this entire metropolitan area.
Tonight, mostly clear, lows around 0. Tomorrow, sunny and cold, highs around 9. It's currently 17 degrees in Milwaukee and 12 in Waukesha. For 1510 AM, WRRD, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio. My name is Brian Kelly.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dom, that was not a proper fist bump.
Now we're good to go. Hey, Crudy, welcome back to Milwaukee, my friend.
Hey, you know, Donald Trump's putting a whole new meaning to the word hump day.
Yeah, why is that?
This edition, I don't know if we're allowed to say what this edition should be called. Oh, that's a little shook up, I think.
It's all shook up.
At least I left the cap on it.
FCC regulations here on
yes.
broadcast.
Am I allowed to effectively talk about the size of the president's penis
Without using the word penis?
or some other variant thereof?
It seems...
Where must I draw the line?
I'm not clear. Can we say, like, a peeing contest? Is that proper?
I've heard that. I don't personally like to say that. I think it's a little crass, but I say worse off air all the
time.
All the freaking time, believe me.
I realize sometimes I swear a little too much. It takes away from the flavor and meaning of it. So I don't mind necessarily some FCC restrictions. But when it comes down to what is happening right now, I think we have to go to the gutter. I mean, hell, our president is bringing us there.
He certainly is. So what for do we speak of? If you've been under a rock today, maybe you missed this headline. Donald Trump tweeting out at Kim Jong-un. And Kim Jong-un kind of started it, right?
Oh, yeah, it's all his fault, Ma.
Well, Kim Jong-un said that he has a nuclear red button on his desk. And Donald Trump could not let that one go without throwing out a penis reference, right?
Here's what Donald Trump tweeted a mere 19 hours ago. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works.
Not according,
Who's got the button?
not according to Melania.
After the blue pill, the button works much better.
Call your physician in 4 hours. This is a penis reference, is it not?
It seems to be...
I mean, it's thinly veiled.
A bigger button?
But the man is talking about his member, is he not?
I could see how one could interpret it as such.
Now, is there an underlying racial stereotype about the Asians?
From the president?
Yes.
I wouldn't... I can see how one could make that inference.
Because really, he's saying mine is bigger
than
yours. I mean, most people buy a Corvette if that's their big issue. Perhaps they go join the NRA, Dom.
Maybe get a convertible?
Run for president. Hey, kiss my ass. That has nothing to do with penis size. It's entirely about making me look skinnier.
Oh, is that what it is?
The convertible. I look very skinny.
Yes, you do.
Very stealthy in a convertible.
Your hair.
Look at the size of that thing.
Your hair blowing in the wind. But let's keep it on Trump.
Now, yes, let's please do keep it on Trump. I can't believe I'm discussing the president of the United States.
I can't. It's too big.
And his asserted penis size because he thinks his is bigger. But I would say this is not the first time he's brought this up, right? Little Marco Rubio. You remember
right.
Little Dom, right?
Oh, come on, man.
He talked about his hand size.
Let me tell you, Trump is he's probably almost as tall as you. I mean, he's not
a big guy.
He's not a short guy like me, but when he shook my hand, his hands weren't much larger than mine, Michael.
Size matters not.
Easy, Yoda.
Judge me by my size, do you?
But okay, so aside from the joke,
perhaps one of the most dangerous tweets of all time.
What the hell is happening in the White House? Where's John Kelly? Well, remember that guy? He was supposed to, help keep him on the straight and narrow. Where the hell is John Kelly?
I'm not at all clear.
Have you heard of his name? Have you seen him in print? Have you seen
that's true.
Anything from John Kelly?
A little MIA.
A little bit. So Republicans, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Are you happy? Is this the big stick diplomacy, carrot and a stick, and he's whipping out his stick?
Yeah, he showed him, I got the biggest stick. Hey, Dom, people may wonder, how are the right-wingers handling all this? Well, we've got an answer for you. We've actually tracked the competition to hear what they've done with this very issue, this who's got the biggest penis. I would say it's WRD 1510 AM.
He's just ask.
I just go by, numerical call sign. 1510, that's pretty far on the right side of the dial. Perhaps not the farthest to the right, but it's pretty far. But here is what the other side's talking about. Just think of them as the righties. Brian, if you would, our clandestine capture of what the far right is talking about today in reference to Trump's penis.
You are listening to Authoritarian Radio, and you're welcome. We are the authority on everything, and who are you to question? That was This Land Is My Land, This Land Is My Land by The Winners. This next song is a long-distance dedication that goes out to KJ from DJ, who writes, will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works. Ah, young authoritarian love.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way. Now
this is some fine righty music, Dom. They do adore the Trump.
Very appropriate, considering, what's going on today.
I would agree. I am almost always happy because, what's the downside? But look at Donald Trump, always a scowl on his face. Never seems happy. Never seems happy. I would just say if he did have this enormous penis that he offers, and not just, a little red button somewhere, wouldn't he be a happier man?
He'd be happier, you think, perhaps?
A little less driven, a little less ambitious, perhaps. Might slow down and make Melania a little happier, too.
We'll get into perhaps some of that reporting. I'm not clear from what I've read today and observed over the last, 18 months that Donald Trump ever thought he was going to win. And now here he is talking about nuclear war and the red button with Kim Jong-un from North Korea because what? Un started it?
Can he withstand the temptation to push the button that even now beckons him ever closer? Will he succumb to the maddening urge to eradicate history at the mere push of a single button? The beautiful, shiny button! The jolly, candy-like button! Will he hold out, folks? Can he hold out?
For the sake of humanity, I do hope he does hold out. Trump, what are you doing?
I'm pretty clear from the look on Melania's face. Trump almost never finds the button. Wanted to acknowledge those that tweeted us out, including Kuchka. Well done with the tune, he says. Well, that's what the righties are playing today. They are supportive of their president.
Oh, they love their president.
And his very large
red button.
Yes. Also, breaking news out of Milwaukee. I'd like to think our own Earl Ingram played some part in this breaking headline. The Red Cross will resume sending its volunteers to house fires in Milwaukee. Of course, they were not going to the 10 predominantly African-American and Latino zip codes, while the Journal-Sentinel reporting at this minute they're going back. And Earl, well done. You've been right on top of this issue.
Well done,
WRT 1510's own Earl Ingram. And you know what they say about radio stations that are way down the dial on the far right side?
They're the biggest.
They got the biggest buttons. Come back with us. Preset it. News Talk, 1510 a.m. Only the headlines you need each and every day. You can always join us. Tell us how big your president is. 844-967-2789.
It's going my way.
Size doesn't matter.
Everything is going my way. Yum.
Just by pressing one of these buttons. Any of these buttons. Just press a button and sing!
Put that thing away, you're gonna get us all killed!
Wisconsin Republican Attorney General Brad Schimmel claims he will further investigate the investigators of the John Doe 2 investigation because it was all a partisan witch hunt. Wisconsin State Rep Chris Taylor said this.
There is absolutely no concern expressed by this Attorney General or these Republican legislators about the underlying criminal conduct that this corruption investigation revealed. Scott Walker was breaking laws.
And Brad Schimmel fails to acknowledge the 6 criminal convictions, 4 felonies on the Scott Walker John Doe 1. Was that also a partisan witch hunt?
One newspaper has done a good job. It's a national paper, the Wall Street Journal.
And AG Schimmel filed an embarrassing hack partisan bull report where he's still looking for the leaker. Get a clue! Wasn't it Eric O'Keefe from Wisconsin Club for Growth?
Well, I was born to do this.
This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Hi, this is Brad Saug, owner of Zero Res Madison Carpet Cleaning. Zero Res is the best new technology in carpet cleaning. We have a patented process using empowered water, a high-tech process in which we force the water to act like soap. It doesn't want to stay in that state. It's jacked up and it's angry and it wants to hit the dirt and then it neutralizes. When we're done, all that's left in your carpet is just light moisture. In the end, you get the cleanest, greenest, healthiest carpet cleaning available. Call us at 848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward. It's the right way to clean.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
Going through divorce is a very emotional time in someone's life, and when I went through my first divorce, I really needed someone to help me through the legal aspects of what my rights were. That's why I got in contact with Lawton & Cates.
The attorneys at Lawton & Cates. It's who you turn to for legal advice. 282-6200 or lawtoncates.com.
When you need an attorney, trust the voice of experience. The only choice, Lawton & Cates.
On December 4th, 2017, an application was filed by New WRD LLC with the Federal Communications Commission in Washington, D.C. for a new FM translator construction permit to serve Milwaukee, Wisconsin, operating on channel 269 with 200 watts ERP from a transmitter site with geographic coordinates of 43 degrees, 5 minutes, 46 seconds north, 87 degrees, 54 minutes, 15 seconds west, rebroadcasting WRD 1510 AM, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Okay, the easiest way to be cool, be the guy with the big kielbasa. Size 14 high tops and a thick spicy one. Slip these on, and I'll slip this in. Look at that bulge. Best part of waking up is bulges in your cup. Now go wag that mama all over school, cool guy.
Don't want no short man.
Women want them. Men want to be them. Tom and Cruz are the Devil's Advocates.
Don't want no short man.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show live on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio, 1510 AM WRRD. We're streaming live on newstalk1510am.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook, on Twitter at Devil Radio, and always on the phones for your take on today's news, 844-967-2789.
Dominic, we would never go here had the POTUS not taken us here. Trump has taken us to the gutter, my friend.
Well, grabbing him by the didn't take us there long ago.
I guess he did. Dom, I'm not even clear that the penis-sized tweet sent back at Kim Jong-un, I'm not even sure that that's the craziest thing Trump did today. Because, of course, there's this tremendous breaking story overnight, and there's a new book out, Dom, and this one's going to be a page-turner, I suspect, and much of this show will be devoted to excerpts of the book.
Yay!
And Trump's very outrageous response to that book, or at least to some of the quoted comments. But want to hit the phones, want to hit our own Earl Ingram, WRD's own Earl. How you doing, Earl, man? I see you made some headlines.
You know, Dom and Crute, it shows the power of the airways is what that does, because had it not been for the radio station and the power of being able to get a message out to the community about something that was egregious, this would have gone through.
And
last year,
Earl, because not everyone probably knows this story as well as your audience does. About a week ago, I believe it was last Thursday, Earl, you brought to the public's attention that the Red Cross had a new policy. And while others had reported that, you were the first one to get the regional CEO. I think her name was Flowers. Is that right, Earl?
Yes, Pat Flowers.
And Pat Flowers came on your show bright and early the other morning, and you questioned her over and over again about this concept. I think Mayor Tom Barrett called it separate but equal and said he didn't want separate but equal. Well, apparently, Earl, as we now know, headlines breaking at the hour, the Red Cross is going back to its old policy. They're no longer going to have a separate but equal policy for fire victims in 10 Milwaukee zip codes, which are primarily African American and Latino. I'm sorry, buddy. Now you tell us the rest.
Well, you know, Crudy, it was in lieu of all the other things that happened in this city for people of color. Many people know the statistics. One of the worst places in the nation for people of color to live. Certain zip codes, the worst in the nation. It's gotten to the point where that's being taken for granted, and people think that, well, we can do anything. And so to bring this policy up, I thought was an added insult to people who just don't have representation many times. And it gave me an opportunity, because of the opportunity that we've been given with the radio station and the power and importance of it, that if we brought that information to people who knew nothing of it, the masses of the community knew nothing about it, and we basically gave the first inkling that this was going on. Nobody knew, for the most part. And once we were able to get them to hear the message and know that this was going on, it just kind of created a life of its own. And then pressure began to build, and pressure burst pipes. And the mayor met with the Red Cross on yesterday, and they were really, to be truthful, telling the truth about things. And so eventually that came to pass, and the pressure and the proof that what they were doing was not right and not just came to the top. And so we're fortunate that they have gone back to what is the right thing to do. To expect people who have suffered through fire and the loss of those kind of things to jump on a bus or catch a cab at that point in time when they've lost everything, including clothing, shoes, coats, everything that's saving their lives, it was just not right. And so we were able to at least, and as I said, there's some things you can change, other things you can't. I felt like that was one thing we could change.
Well, Earl, we're proud of the work you're doing right here on WRRD 1510 AM. We're looking forward to another great year. You know, buddy, we are less than a month from our first anniversary. Hopefully, we're less than a couple months from having an FM signal here in Milwaukee. And, buddy, your voice is going to grow. He's the voice of the voiceless. He's the champion of the working class. He's our own Earl Ingram Jr. Good job, Earl. Thanks for calling in, man. And well,
thank you, buddy.
To you as well, my friend. We are the Devil's Advocates. Right. Hey, thanks, Earl. We'll talk soon. We are the Devil's Advocates, and I tell you what, man, we got another big show for you. Mark Pocan, Congressman Mark Pocan. I wonder if you'll have any opinions to offer.
I think he will. A timely guest.
On the president's penicizer, perhaps his tweeting out, or maybe the headlines that broke overnight about the treasonous Trump Tower meeting. Steve Bannon called it treasonous. And Trump has nearly lost his cotton-picking mind today.
Oh, yeah, and small detail, Crudy, there is no red button on Trump's desk. It's a rhetorical red button.
Sure it is.
Does that concern you at all?
Dom,
more than
control over the microphone here, so all my buttons are bigger than your buttons. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Devil's Advocates Radio, WRD 1510 AM. This is what resistance sounds like.
Well, the issue of race came up, not necessarily racism, but the issue of race certainly came up. I don't want a separate but equal policy here. I want to make sure that you're getting the same treatment for all individuals throughout
Take a look under your
this
bed.
entire
Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The Stephanie Miller Show is on twice daily, 6 to 9 p.m. and midnight to 3 a.m. You can stream The Stephanie Miller Show and all of our fine programming on newstalk1510am.com.
Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order and classic corner tavern.
My name is Adam Holmes, and I'm proud to be union.
Adam, you're Director of Training for Painters District Council 7. What do you do?
I'm making sure that we're investing in our members. We're providing the safest and best trained painters, glazers, drywall finishers, and trade show workers in the industry, and we also do that at no cost to the taxpayers.
Why hire unions?
Because it costs less to be safe. We keep the contractor on the right side of OSHA and help keep the workmen's comp rates affordable. Join us, Painters and Allied Trades, District Council 7.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzz driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Good afternoon. It is 2:32 for 1510 a.m. WRRD, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio. My name is Brian Kelly. The governor's former corrections secretary says Brad Schimmel completely botched a probe into abuses at Wisconsin's teen prison. Ed Wall said the attorney general failed to review incident reports or check medical records during the months-long investigation. The former corrections secretary said Schimmel passed off the investigation to the FBI a year after it began as a, quote, Hail Mary pass to get it out of their lap. In Wall's comments to WKOW-TV in Madison, he also said Walker had not taken seriously enough the problems at Lincoln Hills School for Boys, and the matter was, quote, shuffled off by the governor's office. Tonight, mostly clear, lows around 0. It's currently 15 degrees in Milwaukee and 11 in Waukesha. For 1510 a.m. WRRD, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio, my name is Brian Kelly.
I don't know if you know the Devil's Advocates, but they are kind of a big deal.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. We got Mark Pocan joining us at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. Congratulations again to our good buddy Earl Ingram, an instrumental part in pushing the American Red Cross right here in Milwaukee to go service African American and Latinos, fire victims where they live, not down at the local police station. So good job, Earl. And now, a little reporting, Dom. This one, a page-turner. This one, apparently reporting a book soon to be released, excerpts. The Guardian is the source we quote. David Smith in Washington. And the headline, Trump Tower meeting with Russians treasonous. Bannon says an explosive book.
Oh, is there trouble in paradise with the conservatives?
Well, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is up at the podium right now, spinning at how, Bannon...
Only she can.
Bannon hardly even knows Trump. I think it was Bannon and Papadopoulos that mostly went out for the coffee. Or as David Smith describes him, Donald Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, has described the Trump Tower meeting between the president's son and a group of Russians during the 2016 election campaign as treasonous and unpatriotic, according to an explosive new book seen by The Guardian. Bannon, speaking to author Michael Wolff, warned that the investigation into alleged collusion with the Kremlin will focus on money laundering and predicted They're going to crack Don Jr. like an egg on national TV.
I can't wait.
That is perhaps one of my favorite book quotes in excerpt form in The Guardian I've ever read.
I'm a street fighter.
Fire and fury inside the Trump White House, reportedly based on more than 200 interviews with the president, his inner circle, and players in and around the administration, is one of the most eagerly awaited political books of the year. In it, Wolf lifts the lid on the White House, lurching from crisis to crisis amid interscene warfare, and even some of Trump's closest allies expressing contempt for him. Bannon, who was chief executive of the Trump campaign in its final 3 months, when White House chief strategist for 7 months before returning to the right-wing Breitbart News, is a central figure in the nasty cutthroat drama, quoted extensively, often in salty language. He is particularly scathing about a June 2016 meeting involving Trump's son, Don Jr., Fredo, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya at the Trump Tower in New York. A trusted intermediary was promised documents that would incriminate rival Hillary Clinton, but instead of alerting the FBI to a potential assault on the American democracy by a foreign power, Trump Jr. replied in an email, "I love it."
The meeting was revealed by the New York Times in July last year, prompting Trump Jr. to say no consequential material was produced. We tried it, but nothing worked, right, Curdy? Soon after, Wolf writes, Bannon remarked mockingly, the 3 senior guys in the campaign thought it was a good idea to meet with a foreign government inside Trump Tower in the conference room on the 25th floor with no lawyers. They didn't have any lawyers. Even if you thought that was not treasonous or unpatriotic or bad crap, beep. And I happen to think it was all of that. You should have called the FBI immediately. Bannon went on, Wolf writes, to say that if any such meeting had to take place, it should have been set up in a Holiday Inn in Manchester, New Hampshire, with your lawyers who meet these people. Any information, he said, could then be dumped down to Breitbart or something like that, or maybe some other more legitimate publication.
More legitimate than his own?
Well, thank you, Steve Bannon. We concur. Bannon added, quote, you never see it. You never know it because you don't need to, but that's the brain trust that they had.
So let's stop just there for a minute. Not only were they treasonous
and unpatriotic
and other, what,
according to the former chief strategist of the president,
but also, Dom, they were completely incompetent. They went and took the meeting in Trump Tower. They put themselves in harm's way. They never considered sending somebody instead.
Someone who knew what they were doing?
Well,
a lot of times we say, well, were they incompetent or were they corrupt? And in this case, they're both. That's pretty rare.
Or
the twofer.
Maybe the principals, quote unquote, were only at this meeting because they were directed to do so. They were the B team, because the Prez has got to keep himself above this fray. I mean, why else? Otherwise, it's just sheer and utter incompetence.
Guardian goes on, talks about the special counsel. Trump predicted in an interview with New York Times last week that the counsel was going to be fair. Then continues on with Bannon, saying Bannon has criticized the Trump decision to fire Comey. In Wolf's book, obtained by the Guardian ahead of publication from a bookseller in New England, he suggests White House hopes for a quick end to Mueller investigation are gravely misplaced. Quote, you realize where this is going, he is quoted as saying. This is all about money laundering. Mueller chose senior prosecutor Andrew Weissman first, and he is a money laundering guy. Their path to effing Trump goes right through Paul Manafort, Don Jr., and Jared Kushner. It's as plain as the hair on your face. Last month, it was reported that federal prosecutors had subpoenaed records from Deutsche Bank, the German financial institution that has lent hundreds of millions of dollars to the Kushner property empire. Bannon continues. It goes through Deutsche Bank and all the Kushner crap. The Kushner crap is greasy. They're going to go right through that. They're going to roll those two guys up and say, play me or trade me. Scorning apparent White House in Sanchuance, Bannon reaches for a hurricane metaphor. They're sitting on a bench trying to stop a Category 5.
Beach.
Oh, I'm sorry. Beach.
You don't like a hurricane!
Yes. He insists that he knows no Russians will not be a witness, will not hire a lawyer, and will not appear on national television answering questions. Fire and Fury will be published next week. Wolf is a prominent media critic and columnist who has written for The Guardian and is a biographer of Rupert Murdoch. He previously conducted interviews for The Hollywood Reporter with Trump in June of 2016 and Bannon a few months later.
Wait. I got one little more tidbit.
All right.
To throw out there, because there's all sorts of tidbits that are being exerted all around town, but this one I like. It's about the rancor between Bannon and Kushner and Ivanka Trump, or Jabanka, as Bannon would call them. It's a recurring theme in the book. Kushner and Ivanka are Jewish. Henry Kissinger, the former Secretary of State, is quoted as saying, "It's a war between the Jews and the non-Jews." The Jews and the Gentiles, Dom.
Oh, man.
Trump is not spared. Wolf writes that Thomas Barack Jr., a billionaire who is one of the president's oldest associates, allegedly told a friend, "He's not only crazy, he's stupid." Barack denied that to the New York Times. Well, I would deny that I called the president stupid and crazy if I was his close associate. I would also tell the New York Times I did not do that.
Also from the Washington Post today, of course, Donald Trump, he's not going to sit back and take that.
Oh, I thought we were going to savor this
Parker. Well, we got a couple of minutes. Let's just lay out a couple of paragraphs. Then we'll get into it. President Donald Trump unleashed on his former chief strategist and campaign chairman Wednesday, issuing a long and unusual statement questioning Stephen K. Bannon's mental stability, honesty, and political influence.
You knew it was long
because it was in Twitter, and Twitter expanded the characters, so now it's very long. Talking about the red button.
No, the Trump response.
Oh, the Trump response.
But it had to be long. A short response is not acceptable.
Lots of words. Trump has the best words, therefore the long response. But we'll get to that after the break.
Oh, you just teased him.
See how I did that?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Come back with us. We are some of the longest, most well-endowed radio hosts.
We have the longest website name, newstalk1510am.com.
Come back with us or join us on the phones, 844-967-2789.
We've got big balls. We've got big balls. Dirty big balls. He's got big balls. She's got big balls. But we've got the biggest balls of them all. We got big balls. We got big balls.
The Duke will die before these eyes, and he'll know that it is I,
Steve Bannon,
who encompasses his doom.
Make a resolution, Milwaukee, to eat your fruits and vegetables. Go to the new Pete's Fruit Market on Martin Luther King and North Ave. Find the freshest fruit, always the perfect peach. Pete's Fruit Market is a brand new, modern, full-service grocery with an in-store butcher shop. Go see the manager, Vidal, for daily specials at the new Pete's Fruit Market on North Ave and MLK. Tell them that the Devil's Advocate sent you.
I was on Zero Res Madison's Facebook page the other day, and they have almost 2,000 testimonials from local customers. Apparently, I'm not the only one stoked on how cool this company is. A green technology that actually works better and doesn't cost more, it's a no-brainer, I'm in. We are starting our own Devil's Advocates revolution to free your carpets from harsh chemicals and soaps. Call Zero Res today and ask for the Dom and Crute special 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Hi, I'm Anton.